Be interesting to hear what our guest analyst has to say. Let's bring back in Oliver Sloup from Blue Line Futures. Oliver, thank you very much for sticking around. Anything to say about those livestock markets?
Well, like you'd mentioned, we started the day off on pretty firm footing, seeing a lot of these markets, live cattle, feeder cattle, lean hogs, all continue their rally, but coming off a little bit as we inch towards today's close. For live cattle specifically, we think that the market is probably a little bit overextended at this point in time. We remain optimistic and upbeat over the intermediate and longer term time frame, but as mentioned with the grains, I think a healthy pullback is very much welcomed by the bulls in this market. We got some cash trade reported down in Kansas today at 140, and if you look at where the April futures are, we're still at a pretty sharp premium there, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the market maybe stall out on some of this bullish news and retrace back towards some of these breakout points closer to 144 in April. That'd be a spot where I'd be looking at getting back long the market.
How do you feel about, again, this is going to be more of an economics question. We have about a minute left. But there's a lot of folks, at least I've listened to some folks talk about how maybe the beef market, both cattle and feeders and live cattle, have been moving around with the stock market. I mean, that's really not been the case as of late, really. And to that point, really, a lot of our products haven't really been moved around by the outside markets like they have been in the past. I mean, we've kind of stayed true to ourselves. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, remarkably well here as of late. We've seen a lot of volatility in the outside markets. The cattle complex has done a good job at shrugging that off. But when that peak panic comes back into the equity markets, I don't think that that's going to be too avoidable in the livestock markets. We've seen some big sell-offs in the indices today. We've seen Facebook, which is now Meta, down sharply. A lot of big pension funds own stocks like this, and that influences money flow across the board, not just in the stock markets, but that will potentially flow into commodities as well and really kind of shake things up here going forward.
Perfect stuff. All right, great. Thank you very much. Oliver Sloup from Blue Line Futures in Chicago. Thanks for being on the show.